is Jamie, and today I am doing a book review on Kitchen Garden Revival by Nicole, Johnsey, Burke. Please subscribe to this channel for more book reviews. I love gardening books. Let me just say that. This is the second one that I've read. I read her other book first. She published this one first in 2020, but I read her more recent book, Leaves, Roots, and Fruit. I read that one first. And in my opinion, that one is actually better than this one, but this one does have a lot of great information. It's divided into two parts. The first part is how to start your garden, and she deals specifically with raised beds. I garden more in ground, but I still feel like I learned a lot from this book. So the first part of the book showed you where to place your garden in your yard. It told you where to plan your garden in relation to where the sun hits, where there's fences or buildings in your yard, where the water spigot is, and just convenience. How close is it to your kitchen? Stuff like that. She told you to think about in where to place your garden. And she talked about what materials to use for building a raised bed. There's even a section where there's pictures, like a step-by-step tutorial on how to build a raised bed. Want to see that? See, this is something that I'm not using right now. Maybe I'll use in the future, but it was very detailed on how to do that if you are interested in that sort of thing. And then once you have picked out the materials for your raised bed and where you want to put it, well, raised beds if you're doing more than one bed in your garden, she talked about what kind of soil to use. And she has something called the 103 method. It's when she has, I think she said, sand and topsoil and compost. Those are the three main components that equal like 99% of the soil you use in your garden bed. And then the extra 4% that bumps it up to 103 is like earthworm castings or something like that. Something extra to put into the mix to add more nutrients to the soil. So she teaches you how to pick out and make your own soil mixture that will be ideal for your plants to grow in. And that's just that's the first half of the book, is how to set up your kitchen garden. And the second half of the book is the plants themselves. So planning what you're going to be growing and when you're going to grow it, what season you're going to be growing in, what crops go with what season, and then where you're placing them in the bed, and when you need to water, and just all the little details that you need to know when you're thinking about actually placing the plants themselves. So very educational, very good for somebody who is wanting to learn the ins and outs of gardening. Again, I said I enjoyed her other book, Leaves, Roots, and Fruit, more. I think this one is more, this is geared more towards people who don't have a garden yet, and you're like starting from scratch, and you're like, well, what do I do? This is the book you would pick up. Leaves, Roots, and Fruit is kind of like, you already know where your garden is, or you already have it set up, and you just want to know the ins and outs of the plants themselves. That one focuses more intently on the plants. Both books have a lot of information. This has a lot of information. I would highly recommend it to anyone who's getting into the gardening scene. Even if you already have been gardening for a few years, this book contains just little tips that you might not have thought of. As far as the pictures, I haven't really gone into it yet, but I love that she shows so many pictures, and they're good pictures. She used the same photographer that she used in her second book, but they're colorful, beautiful pictures of people's gardens, some of her clients' gardens. It contains pictures of her own garden. It documents her building her garden from scratch, and pictures of the vegetables and such things as that. What tools you need. There's her working. There's just good pictures. I love books with good pictures. And this book has a ton of good pictures, and they're beautiful because they're vegetables. They're vibrant. They have vibrant colors, and they're interesting to look at. An arch trellis. So that's the gist of this book. If you are a gardener and you want to be a gardener and you want to know more about how to do that, this is the book for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon in our next video. Have a good one, and goodbye.